Your wishes will come true.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Carvenus 14. Now today we are going to be talking about Jinhsi once again. Now today is it's more of a video for the newcomers to Wuthering Waves. So for anyone that's actually new to Wuthering Waves and new to this channel and this video, hello, my name is Carvenus 14 and I mainly talk about Arlecchino in Genshin Impact and Jinhsi from Wuthering Waves. But anyway, enough about me. Today we're moving on to Jinhsi. So you clicked on this video thinking, okay, this man probably knows a bit about Jinhsi, hence why he's making this video, and you'd be correct. This video is mainly going to be talking about why Jinhsi is why you should consider pulling for Jinhsi during this rerun. Now, the main point, obviously, being, number one, she does a load of damage. Now, everyone and their mother knows Jinhsi does a lot of damage, but that's not really a point really worth making, because Jinhsi can do the talking herself, right? You've seen videos on the internet with Jinhsi just doing a stupid amount of damage, so you don't really need me to tell you guys she does a lot of damage, because it's already there. But this video isn't going to be talking about her damage numbers that much. This video is going to be talking about why Jinhsi is a good unit to pull for. And of course, damage is one of them, but you don't just look at damage when it comes to playing a game. What is a game all about? Having fun. Is Jinhsi a fun character to play? Is Jinhsi a pretty easy character to play? Is she very difficult? Because there are some characters in this game, right, like Chang-Li with her quick swaps and stuff, which get a bit more technical. There's also people, characters like Dan Jin, who's very suicide heavy. Then of course there's also someone like Carlotta, who has a lot of tech that you kind of have to do, and patterns and stuff that you have to follow. So, is Jinhsi going to be a difficult character to play? How easy is she to build? Is her team going to be very expensive for me to build because she's one of those characters that requires a 5-star? Well, we're going to answer all of that in today's video, and hopefully that will give you a much better insight to why you guys should consider pulling for Jinhsi at the very least, rather than just brushing her off. Now, the first thing, which a lot of people might not really think about or even have overlooked, is that Jinhsi is coming in the second phase of this patch. Why is that important? Well, it's simple. You get more pulls in the second phase, right? Because you have this. This reward doesn't actually come out until the second phase of the actual patch starts. So you'll have 10 more pulls to pull for a character in the second phase, whether that be Chiconia, I guess Chiconia, sorry. I call it Chiconia sometimes, but yeah, Chiconia, or one of the other 4 rerun characters along with Jinhsi. So, what makes Jinhsi worth considering? Well, number one, there's a much higher chance to get Jinhsi because of the increased amount of pulls, and also the increased amount of Primo Gems that you'll be getting during the second phase as well. So that's one point to take into consideration. Number two, a lot of damage. We've already talked about that. But the next point is her ease of play. How easy is Jinhsi to play? Very, very simple. Like, a toddler could play her, basically. That's literally how easy it is. Effectively, guys, the main rule is, if Jinhsi's resonance skill goes golden, you press it, okay? All you need to do is just this, okay? Well, normally what you'd want to do is you want to use her intro skill to get onto the field, right? You want to use her intro skill to get onto the field, and then you want to go to town, basically. So you come in, right, with her elemental skill, like this. Golden resonance skill, and then you dash, and then you just spam normal attacks, basically. And then the last attack, and then you do that, and there you go. That's literally it. That is all you have to do with Jinhsi. That is literally how you play Jinhsi, guys. There's your guide on how to play Jinhsi. Alright, I'll see you all in the next video. I'm joking. Obviously. So, that's literally it. That is all you need to know about Jinhsi and how you play her. Like, she doesn't require anything special to do. She doesn't require you to do any quick swap. She doesn't require you to understand any hidden technology or anything like that. It's literally just as simple as if her resonance skill is golden, you press it. It's literally as that. It's literally as simple as that. Alright? So, she's very simple to play. And another thing that a lot of people actually seem to overlook is that Jinhsi is one of the safest DPSs to play in the game. What do I mean? Well, if you guys didn't know, Jinhsi is an aerial combatant, meaning she has the ability to deal damage to opponents in the air, alright? And as you can see from the game, from what I just showed you, she's able to stay in the air for a long time, okay? Like, a very long time. I think she can stay in the air for like 10 seconds. So, basically, while everyone else is trying to kill you, you are up in the sky dealing damage to them. And you can stay like that for a while, and then you know, use her Ordnance Glow mechanic and stuff like that. So you can stay in the air for a very long time with Jinhsi. So for those of you that are really bad at dodging, okay, for those of you that are really bad at dodging, don't worry, I'm one of you as well. Dodging or parrying, right? Jinhsi is one of the best characters to play for you, simply because you can't get hit. It's very difficult for you to get hit, at least anyway. Now, of course, ever since Rinascita came out, unfortunately, there have been some bosses with ridiculous AoE attacks that are still able to hit Jinhsi, but for the most part, most enemies, right, basically every enemy except bosses, in Rinascita specifically, don't have the ability to injure Jinhsi while she's in midair. So because of that, you are very, very safe, like ridiculously safe from all types of attacks. Unless it's a massive AoE attack that basically hits everything, right? Like Fleur-de-Lis's massive, you know, hollow purple move, effectively. Those of you that understand what hollow purple is, you know. But, yeah, basically, those types of attacks, right? Or even bosses that fly around or anything like that, yeah. Basically, Jinhsi is safe. Okay, 90% of the enemies in the game cannot deal damage to Jinhsi while she's in midair, which makes her one of the safest DPSs to play. So for those of you that are really bad at dodging or really bad at parrying, Jinhsi is one of the safest characters to play in the game. Alright, along with also being one of the easiest characters to play, because unlike Carlotta, there's not a load of setup that you have to worry about. Or unlike someone like Chang Li, who has a lot of quick swap, type of stuff that you kind of get to do with her. Then, of course, there's also someone like Phoebe as well, who, with Phoebe, placement is quite, well, placement and where you want to be positioned is kind of an important thing, right? Because you could be inside the circle, outside the circle, then there's the, you know, whole confession and, you know, what's it called? Confession and I don't know what the other state is called, but yeah, so newer characters, that's one good thing about Jinhsi. She's an older character, and usually in games, older characters don't have a lot of information or text going for them. I mean, I say that, but if you look at, you know, if you look at Jinhsi's stuff, right, like there's a lot of text. Like there is a lot. That's her resonance skill. This, I mean, okay. This is her forte circuit, which there is a lot of text, but basically it's just a really long way of saying when it goes golden, press it. That's basically it. Alright? So yeah. But Jinhsi's kit is actually very straightforward to understand once you watch a guide of people actually describing how Jinhsi works. Even my guide on Jinhsi would actually be very useful for you guys, so do check that out if you have the time. So yeah, Jinhsi, very, very simple to play, very straightforward. She's not a very difficult character to play at all, and she's also one of the safest characters to play because of the fact that she can be in the air. Well, to be fair, she is in the air all the time. When you're on the field with Jinhsi, you always want to be in the air, okay? Yeah. So she's very, very safe to play in the air. And for those of you that don't know how to get into the air with Jinhsi, I know what you're thinking. Well, let's say I'm on the ground, okay? Let's say I'm on the ground. You do your resonance skill, and you find out that you're actually not as high as you want it to be. Well, what you can do is grappling. And now, you are just a lot higher. Alright?
Soar against the wind.
Yeah, so you're just a lot higher with the grappling hook. You can literally just do that, okay? You can use your grappling hook mid-air, and what that will do is that will effectively just increase your height in the air, basically. So it'll make it really hard for enemies to hit you. Okay. So, I was planning on changing it to the wings, but it's fine. So what else does Jinhsi have going for her? No, I want the night sky back. Stop it. Yeah, so what else does Jinhsi have going for her? Well, A lot of things, actually. Jinhsi does have a lot of other things. So we've already spoken about how safe she is to play. We've already spoken about how easy she is to play. Now we're going to talk about how easy it is to build Jinhsi. Now, what do I mean? It's simple, really. Jinhsi is one of the easier characters to build in the game. Now, what do I mean when I say that? Well,
my honor.
Jinxi's weapon. Her signature weapon is absolutely insane. I mean, you get 48% resonance skill damage bonus literally as soon as you hop onto the field after using her intro skill, which is what you want to do, right? Yeah. So you use her resonance skill, her intro skill, and then her resonance skill to go into the air, and there you go, 48% damage bonus. But we're not talking about this weapon today. We're talking about these two weapons here. So we'll talk about the Helios Cleaver. So this is a 4-star weapon, which you can actually get for free, believe it or not. And the way you get this for free is there's an exploration quest in the Sea of Flames. So for those of you that don't know, there's the boss, the Inferno Rider, right? To get to the Inferno Rider boss, you have to, well, you don't have to do the exploration quest, but there is an exploration quest in the area of the Inferno Rider. Sorry, the Inferno Rider. If you do that exploration quest, at the very end of it, you will actually climb a skyscraper, and on top of that skyscraper, you will find this 4-star weapon. I believe it's the Helios Cleaver. Yeah. I might be wrong, it could be the Dauntless Ebonite, but the Helios Cleaver is also another one that's, you know, in my mind that I'm thinking of right now. So, I actually don't remember what the weapon is. It could be the Helios Cleaver or the Dauntless Ebonite, but if it's the Helios Cleaver, it's a very, very good option to get. Now, you can get the Helios Cleaver through pulls and wishes, and you naturally will get a lot of these pulls at the very beginning of the game, and even as you're rolling. So there's a chance for you to get the Helios Cleaver anyway, but if you don't have any pulls or anything like that at all, and the Helios Cleaver, in fact, is not the weapon you get at the end of the exploration quest, then there's this weapon, which is a 3-star option. I know, it sounds really bad, but this weapon is actually really good for Jinhsi, because it gives you attack, and it allows you to get Concerto energy quickly. Now, I know what that sounds like. That sounds kind of useless for Jinhsi. Believe it or not, it isn't, because you want Jinhsi to have her Concerto up as much as possible. And the reason for that is because she doesn't want to be on the field after she uses Jue's laser beam. So having something that recharges your Concerto energy a lot faster is very, very good. That's why Jinhsi does have, you know, the thing that she has, like an ability that allows her to swap off field even when her Concerto bar isn't full, which is why it's really, really good that she has that. But this actually helps along with that as well. But this is a really good 3-star option that you do get for 100% absolute free after you complete the stuff in Mount Firmament. So yeah. So she's got really good free-to-play friendly options if you don't want to go for her 5-star, okay? And then there's her Echo set. Her Echo set is the Celestial Light set. This has not changed ever since Jinxi's release. Since patch 1.1, it's always been Celestial Light, and she doesn't really have another set that she can use, because all the sets in Rinascita don't really cater to her as well. So, yeah. But the reason this set is actually a really good set for Jinhsi, well, other than the fact that it's, you know, literally the only one she can use, is because of how simple it is to actually get these pieces. Because if you didn't know, the Celestial Light set are from enemies that are relatively easy to farm. Okay? Relatively easy. Except Jue. Jue is a bit of a nuisance to try and farm because of the airborne abilities and the fact that he's got a lot of invincibility frames when he goes up in the air. But outside of Jue, this set is actually relatively easy to try and get. So, yeah. That's why the Celestial Light set is actually a very nice set to farm for, because the bosses aren't ridiculously difficult. They don't have stupid hitboxes that, you know, constantly hit you, and they don't have, you know, invincibility frames and stuff like that, like some of the Rinascita mobs have. The Rinascita mobs are a lot more difficult. They're tankier. They've got more health because the game has just been scaled up, right? But all of the Huanglong characters, the Huanglong bosses and the mobs, they're not a problem to deal with at all. They're very easy to try and they're very easy to kill, and you guys will not have any difficulty farming for them. So yeah. So that's another reason why Jinhsi is, you know, really good to build, because she's very simplistic to build. She's very straightforward and easy to build. She's got free-to-play friendly options for weapons, and you also have Celestial Light, which is a very straightforward set to build. She's very, very easy to build in that regard. Alright, yeah. Now, one other point that I must make. She is... Well, she's one of the best 5 stars to pull for if you have no 5-star support. What does that mean? Well, it's basically a really annoying way of saying Jinhsi has a great free-to-play friendly team. I don't know why I said it like that, but I did. So, Jinhsi has a very, very free-to-play friendly team. In fact, this is the team right now. Verena, Yuanwu, Jinhsi. Now, why is this team free-to-play friendly? Well, everyone has the ability to choose a 5-star at the very beginning of the game, to get one for free, basically. You choose it on the banner, and when you roll for that character with the pulls given to you through the game itself, so you don't have to fork over any astrites or money, you get the guaranteed 5-star that you selected for that beginner banner. And if you selected Verena, you get Verena. So, yeah, if you have Verena, which most players in the world right now, if not all players, have Verena.
I wonder how they're growing.
So, yeah, Verena is basically just given to you for free through the in-game pulls that you are given. Now, Yuanwu, this guy is a 4-star, and he is given to you for free because all you need to do to get Yuanwu is basically beat the 4th floor in Tower of Adversity. Now, Tower of Adversity is the endgame mode in this game, and a lot of people might think, okay, well, that's going to be difficult. No, it isn't. Like, I managed to beat the Tower of Adversity with a subpar Spectro Rover. Like, this guy was not built at all, basically. Like, he had the bare minimum, and I still managed to do it pretty well. So, getting through the initial stages of Tower of Adversity is basically fine. It's just a bit when it gets to the resetting stage. You know, that's when, you know, you're going to have to be a bit more serious with your team building and things like that. But that doesn't matter, because we're not here talking about endgame, and I frankly don't really play endgame content in these types of games. I'm just not an endgame person. I'm the kind of guy that just plays a game for fun. I don't really care that much about endgame content that much. So, yeah, just beat the 4th floor of Tower of Adversity, and you have Yuanwu, who is a very formidable support. And even if you don't get Yuanwu through the Tower of Adversity, he's been on a lot of banners, and in fact he currently is on the, what's her name? I think where's the, yeah, I think he's on the, yeah, he is. He's a rate up 4-star right now for Zani, but obviously for Zani it's kind of silly to pull for a 4-star on the 5-star banners. So yeah. But he's also a 4-star right now on one of the other characters' banners, if you can, you know, if you select the 5-star that you want to go for. Now. This is a very, very good free-to-play friendly team, and I've shown you damage values in my other videos with this exact team, and this team performs really damn well. Like, really damn well. You would, in fact, with this team, currently, I am able to hit 650,000 as a minimum, okay? In the worst case scenario, as a minimum. On average, I'm hitting around 690 to 700,000 damage, okay? The lowest I've ever seen with Jinhsi is 650,000, right? But then again, I don't know if I actually showed you guys earlier. My Jinhsi is S6, okay? She is S6, so that's why my damage numbers are like this. But even, like I said, even at S0, right, I have been able to hit like 180,000 or something like that. Yeah, 180,000 with this team. And it's not even funny how, you know, ridiculous the numbers are, right, with just this free-to-play team. And if that's the baseline level of damage that you get, imagine how much more power Jinhsi could get with teammates like Jeji, Cantarella, right? Those types of characters. Like, it's genuinely kind of ridiculous how much she can do. So, yeah. Now, is there another point I'd like to make? Well, what we've spoken about. She's very safe to play. She's very easy to play. She's easy to build. She's got a brilliant 4-star team, right? That's very free-to-play friendly. Is there another point that I would like to talk about? I did have one other point I wanted to talk about today. What was it? What was it? I actually can't remember what that point was, but there was another point besides the one I'm trying to remember that I wanted to talk about, and that is future-proofing. Jinhsi is a future-proof character. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, of course, I'm going to be honest, this is a very copium point. So if you guys want to believe it, you can go ahead. If you don't want to believe it, you can go right ahead. This is a very copium point, and Kuro themselves have not come forward and said this is going to happen, or anything in the game itself officially been stated. But I don't know if you guys have noticed, but every single character in the game, or every single 5-star character in the game, has a best-in-slot sub-DPS now. If you think about it, right, you've got someone like Camellia, who now has Rochia. Carlotta has Jinhsi, Chang Li has Brant, Zani has Phoebe, and Ji Yan, you could say Ji Yan doesn't have his best-in-slot support, but with Zirconia coming out, who focuses on, she's more of a sub-DPS for aero erosion units, but she still has very good benefits that Ji Yan would like to use. So Ji Yan has Zirconia as well. Is there anyone else that I'm missing that I can think of? Not really, no, but yeah, I think that's everyone, actually. Yeah, all the DPS characters. Oh yeah, Zhang Liao has Yin Lin. So all the DPS characters in the game, all the 5-star DPS characters in the game that have come out have their best-in-slot support. Okay? Except Jinhsi. Jinhsi doesn't have a character that can give her Spectra damage bonus as well as Resonance skill damage bonus. That character just doesn't exist in the game as of right now. So, are we going to get one? There's a 50-50 chance, because there's a 50-50 chance, because there's a 50% chance saying that she could very well in the future get one, because everyone else around her has also gotten one. But there's also a 50% chance saying just because everyone else has one doesn't mean that Jinhsi is going to get one, right? Kuro might genuinely just not give Jinhsi this best-in-slot support so that she doesn't end up spiraling out of control. Because, let's be honest, Jinhsi is insane for her age. I mean, she has been out since patch 1.1, and she is still, to this day, competitive. Okay? Competitive. Meaning, she's not the best anymore, but she's keeping up with newer DPSs. She's keeping up with Carlotta, Camellia, who just recently got Rochia in patch 2.0, right? So Camellia has also been boosted in terms of damage, alright? Yeah. And then you've got Zani, who's just come out. Phoebe as well, who's also more of a quick swap hybrid DPS, basically. Alright? So there's so many characters that have come out now after Jinhsi that just allows Jinhsi, or, you know, that basically leave Jinhsi behind in terms of damage. But the thing is they haven't left her behind. Jinhsi has not fallen off the cliff. She's still competitive. You can still see videos of people comparing Jinhsi with newer DPS units. Why is that? Because Jinhsi is still relevant to the meta. She's still really, really strong. I mean, okay, what about Zhang Liao? That's true. I haven't seen people comparing Zhang Liao with newer DPSs nowadays. It's only just Jinhsi and Camellia as older DPSs. And even Camellia, I don't really see that much often, but maybe that's just my feed or something like that. So I'm not going to shit on Camellia or Zhang Liao that much. But you see what I mean, guys? Jinhsi came out in patch 1.1, which was nearly a full year ago at this point. And now, they're still comparing her, they're still comparing newer characters with Jinhsi. She's still relevant. She's still able to deal so much damage to the point where people are still talking about her. They're considering her. They're, you know, thinking that Jinhsi is going to be insane if she gets any stronger than this. Because if Jinhsi right now is still competitive with every other DPS without her best 5-star sub DPS, imagine how much more powerful she would be if she gets her hands, or if Kuro makes a character that is suitable for Jinhsi in every possible way. Imagine how strong Jinhsi would be in the future. Now, of course, Kuro might know the consequences of this. They might think, okay, we need to be careful, because if Jinhsi gets her hands on this type of character, it's going to be over for everyone else. I mean, obviously it won't be that bad, but Jinhsi would be coming back. And of course, it's not really a good thing for the game state, because if older DPSs start outshining newer DPSs, it's not really good for a gacha game company, because how are they going to get sales, So, yeah. So that's the thing, guys. This point is a very, very 50-50 copium kind of point. Kuro could give us a 5-star support best in slot for Jinhsi, or they might genuinely just be like, nah, Jinxi's already really, really good. Let's just leave it, because if we touch something that isn't broken, we will just make it even more broken in both sense of the word. Alright, so, yeah. This is a very, very copium point, like I said. Jinhsi is future-proof for now, but if she doesn't get her 5-star sub DPS, then Jinhsi might fall off in the future. However, for now, and for the foreseeable future, Jinhsi is still a very, very strong contender, okay? She's still a very strong contender. Ever since she was released in patch 1.1, she has still been able to retain her throne as damage queen. Yes, Camillea's come out and, kind of overtaken Jinhsi, alright? Yes, Carlotta is now out, and yes, Zani is also now out. And of course, there are also other characters like Phoebe who's come out, right? Who are just ridiculous at the way they deal damage. They're all super, super strong. Jinhsi was strong once. Now, she is competitively strong. Before, she was walking away with the competition. Now, she's walking with the competition.
May I pray
she
for
hasn't
anything
slowed
specific for
down.
you?
Everyone else has caught up. And that's the difference, alright? If Jinhsi will, hopefully, fingers crossed, get a character in the future that will boost her damage even more, that 5-star sub DPS. And if that happens, Jinhsi will start to pick speed up again, and she will go back to the glory days of just maybe overshadowing, alright, this is a big stretch, but maybe she will go back to the days of her overpowering everyone. Alright, but I don't think that's going to happen. She's probably just going to eke a bit more towards the front of the pack again. But yeah, that is basically it. Actually, there is one more point I would like to draw about Jinhsi, and that is, Jinhsi is not bad in any situation. Like, if you think about it, she's a really good boss killer. She's also really good against multiple targets because her AoE is actually very decent. Okay, because if you didn't know, Jinhsi, when she's in her resonant skill state, her attacks with Jue, they actually have crowd control a little bit. So Jinhsi can actually pick enemies up with Jue, and then when they come back down through the 4th basic attack in the resonant skill, slams them back down. So Jinhsi does actually have some crowd control within her kit, but it's not as insane as someone like Ji-Yan or even Shaikonia who's coming out. Yeah. But anyway, guys, that's basically been it, really. She's a really good boss killer, and she's really good at multiple targets, and she's also pretty decent at waves managements as well. So unlike someone like Carlotta, who's really good at single target damage and kind of suffers with, grouped enemies, right? Jinhsi is very, very good in that regard. And she also gains access to her damage a little bit easier than someone like Carlotta and Zani, who both of their damage is dealt through their Resonance Liberation, which you need energy and you have to wait for the cooldown for. But with Jinhsi, that's really not an issue at all because it's all through her Resonance skill. So it's a lot easier to gain access to Jinhsi's damage compared to someone like Zani or Carlotta, right? So yeah, but that, guys, is basically it for the video. I have been Carvenus14 and still am, and I hope you all found this video informative and hopefully all the points make sense. Yeah. So that's basically been it for the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and hopefully this video has basically given you more of an insight as to why Jinhsi is worth pulling for, rather than I'm just not going to pull for Jinhsi because she's an old character, right? Yeah. So, that's what this video really has been about at the end of the day. For the newer players that don't really know who to pull for, hopefully this has swayed your opinion towards Jinhsi a bit more. Or for those of you that, still don't think Jinhsi is a good character to pull for you because you just don't like something about her, that's fair enough. It's your account at the end of the day. It's your life. It's your game. You play how you want, because at the end of the day, you can make your own decisions. You're all grown-ups, I hope. and you're not spending a load of money on this game, I hope, without proper, without the knowledge of what you're actually doing. So yeah, but we'll stop dragging this out now, guys. Hopefully this video has been informative for you. I have been Carvenus14 and Slam, and I will see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.